All right, so listen, without further ado, VH1's top show, That Metal Show. We have Don Jamieson. He's sitting right next to me. Let's give him a late night welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Donnie,
Thank you, Johnny.
how are you, buddy?
Thank you so much. You put the girl way over there. What's going on?
Forget about it. I like you.
You're C-blocking me already. I'm way over here.
Next time
This is great. You got such a metal crowd here, man.
Oh, forget about it.
You got the Dies, this young heavy metal band hanging out in the crowd with us. Rock Hard Magazine's here. We got Pharaoh. This is cool, man. Thank you.
As they say in my neighborhood, forget about it.
Forget about it.
So now listen, before we get into That Metal Show, you're a comic. How did you get into comedy?
Just, rampant truancy, basically. I don't want to go to school. I just want to be a goofball and tell jokes and bother people and annoy them. And, I just figured a way, when I grew up, I finally figured a way to sort of channel that energy into something positive. And I put it on stage. And, the first time I ever did it, I got maybe like 4 mercy laughs.
Yeah.
But that was enough to keep going, So I just kept doing it, man. And it's 15 years later, and I'm still rocking it. So.
That's great. That's great. Now listen, I know you're into the prank calls. That's something bigger. I love prank phone calls. But I heard that you're into all that. Now what's the prank phone call CDs about that you have? Yeah,
we do these CDs called Terrorizing Telemarketers. Me and my buddy Jim Florentine, who's my co-host on That Metal Show. And it's basically just came out of when you drive to gigs when you're a comic, and when we first started out, we would drive 5-6 hours to gigs, and we would tell stories about how we would mess with telemarketers because we got nothing going on in the day.
Yeah.
We're just sitting around, farting.
It's like the movie, The Jerky Boys, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we would just tell each other these stories, and then finally the light bulb went on. It was like, we should start recording these and make an album. And that's what we did, and we have 5 albums out now, man, and it's just great.
That's great, man.
We just sit home and wait for the phone to ring. But the good thing about this is it's like these are all incoming calls, and everybody hates telemarketers, so we just get under these guys' skin so bad. Like on one of our CDs, we got a guy so mad he threatens to blow our head off with a shotgun.
Oh my God.
No, and he's cursing at us, and he's screaming at the top of his lungs, and he's calling us all these names. I was like, when did Mel Gibson become a telemarketer? Because this guy was angry, man. He even called back like an hour later, like in another office. You could tell he like moved, and then he just went nuts again on us. But we love to do that stuff, man. It's just, look, it's just all good fun. It's prank calls. Like you said, the Jerky Boys have been doing it forever.
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis did it in the 50s and 60s. It's just our spin on it.
My good friend, I don't know if you ever heard of him, Frankie LaRocca. He was a big A&R guy. He
did the catering here, right?
No.
Oh, that's not him? Okay.
No.
There's like 19 guys here named Frankie LaRocca. I don't know.
He actually signed the Spin Doctors.
Okay, cool.
He passed away a couple of years ago, God rest his soul. But he introduced me to the Jerky Boys. And he always said, you're crazy, you got to do your own CD. I never did it. I always wanted to. There's something,
Well, you can guest on the next one.
I would love that.
And Kamal, we got to know Kamal over the years. Yeah, and everybody named Frankie's invited to be on the CD. But no, we've met Kamal.
Kamal is great.
Look, those guys to us, both of us, are geniuses.
Why don't you talk a little bit about your hidden camera comedies, Meet the Creeps?
Yeah, so it's my same partner, Jim Florentine, and we do these DVDs called Meet the Creeps, and it's hidden camera comedy. And basically, we just go around and we torture people. We go into stores and we make a scene. Like, one of the things we do is go into Victoria's Secret, and we start sniffing panties off the rack till they throw us out of the joint. Johnny, there's no sign that says don't sniff the panties.
No,
so
that's great.
They get a little, nuts about that. So my parents are very proud. And, we do a thing where we test drive a car. We start drinking beer and smoking pot during the test drive. Apparently, the dealers frown on that.
Oh.
We go to all-you-can-eat buffet. We start eating. You know those buffets, right? $4.99 all you can eat, but they just want you to have one plate and get out of there.
Yeah.
Well, we bring our friend Tom, who weighs 450 pounds, with us, and we have those plastic buckets and shovels that kids bring to the beach with them. We start shoveling the food into the buckets. You got to see this Chinese manager yelling at us to use their plates. Finally, at the end, we just pull our chairs right up to the buffet and we start eating right out of the trays there. So. Once again, there's no sign, John.
That's the best. I mean, I wish I met you 5 years ago. That's unbelievable. Listen, let's get into the That Metal Show. How did that come about? It's been a huge success.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically, the show came about, the three of us are all huge metal fans from, Kiss was the first band I ever liked when I was 9 years old.
Me too.
So So yeah, and I always just loved metal my whole life. And then when I started doing comedy and started to meet people in the metal scene, I always wanted to figure a way to fuse the two things together. I mean, I grew up in Jersey, so it's like, I think it's like a law you got to be in the metal when you live in Jersey, you know?
Sure.
Like, you know, forget what is
Seriously.
that? What's the Jersey Shore thing? GTL, Gym Tan Laundry? No, it's the 3 M's, metal, mullets, and malls. That's Jersey. Yeah. I saw like 3 mullets coming in here, I know. But that's what Jersey's all about, and so I always grew up a metalhead. You know, I had the $60 car with the $400 stereo.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I had the mullet, you know, drank Bud cans, you know, and but then Jim and I would listen, again, another thing when we drive home from gigs, we'd listen to the Eddie Trunk show on the radio. We'd say, man, this guy could talk about Sept for 20 minutes. We got to meet this guy. He's like us.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we met him, and it just, you know, I think we have this certain chemistry, which is like, you know, Jim and I are like Beavis and Butthead, and he's like Stuart with the winger shirt.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
It's like the two goofballs and the kind of serious guy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
It
we have a
works.
good dynamic, like you guys do. You know?
No, it definitely works, man. Eddie Trump has been doing a lot of great things for the rock and roll in the metal scene for
Hey,
years.
it's a long time he's been keeping metal alive for 26 years.
Give Eddie Trump
so,
a hand.
And he was brave enough to put us on the show with him, because we bust his balls mercilessly.
Oh, that's great. I was at one of your
can
tapings.
imagine.
It was excellent.
And that people don't even know, like, if you watch the show, you know how much we bust his balls, but you don't even see what happens in the green room before the show. It's 100 times worse.
all the best
So we
stuff,
just
yeah.
we drive him to the edge, and then the cameras start rolling, and you just hit him with one little thing, and he just explodes. It's perfect.
Well, what would you say was the craziest, or, you know, funniest skit you ever did?
Well, I mean, a lot of people like the skit where me and Jim went outside of Madison Square Garden when Van Halen was playing.
I saw that.
Yeah, and we said we had a camera that Van Halen was in their dressing room and they could see everything the person says. And so we said, you know, if you want to talk to anybody in the band, go ahead and say something. And people, of course, were saying really nice things. They were saying, oh, Eddie, I'm so happy. I've been waiting 25 years to see you guys again and this and that. And, you know, I didn't really like Sammy. And then we had these fake earpieces and we'd be like, what do you mean you don't like Sammy? Eddie and Sammy are still good friends. He's really pissed off right now. And then the guy'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. We go, oh, he just stormed out of the dressing room. He's like, really? Oh, my God. We go, yeah, the rest of the band wants you to put your ticket up to the camera. They want to know where you're sitting. They're going to send security over there. So these guys are like flipping out, thinking they're pissing off Van Halen. So no matter how nice of a thing they said, you know, it just pissed off. And they would drive everybody out of the room. Dave would drive out of the room. Everybody would leave.
That was sick.
And at the end, Jim told this girl, all right, you can go back and Dave said if you make out with Don, you can go backstage and meet Van Halen. So I made out with this girl who, believe me, on my drunkest night, I would never made out with normally. But for the comedy of it, I did it.
The Jersey Shore, she was a grenade, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she wasn't not as hot of a Snooki, believe it or not.
Now listen, who were your favorite guests on the show?
Well, I mean, I loved having Twisted Sister on the show. You talked about AJ Pirro, who was the drummer in Twisted. You know, they were great because I was such a huge fan of Twisted from the early days, and Jim and I got a chance to open for them in the city at the Nokia.
We were there.
Yeah, for their Twisted Christmas
That was
show,
great.
and that was such a good time, man. It was such an honor to open for those guys because I remember the videos from the '80s. You know, We're Not Gonna Take It, I Want to Rock, and I remember looking at them going, like, are these the ugliest chicks from New York or the hottest chicks from Jersey? You know, I didn't know.
That's great. My favorite was Peter Criss.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all great, but Peter Criss was my idol growing up as a drummer. You know, seeing Kiss, that got me into playing. That was a good interview.
Well, I think, thanks. I think, I think you would agree with me on a lot of levels. We're both huge Kiss fans. We'd love to have Paul and Gene on the show. But in my opinion, we've had the coolest members of Kiss on the show, Ace and Peter.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Ace Frehley, Peter Criss.
Yeah, yeah.
But listen, Don, we're running out of time. Where's there a website, Facebook, where everybody can get in touch with you, maybe get tickets to the That Metal Show?
Yeah, go to DonJamieson.com. I put all my stuff up on there. It's minutes of fun if you visit the website. And I was hanging with Vinny Pastore in the green room.
He's the
It
best.
sounds like he and I are actually going to do some comedy shows together.
I have to have a season VIP pass.
You're in anytime you want to be. Just let me
Everybody-
sit next to the girl the next time.
Let's give it up for Don
right.
Jamieson, That Metal Show.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
All right, Don Jamieson, huh?
He's a funny guy. Oh my God.
He's definitely one of the boys.
Definitely gotta have him back.